Yeah, no, I think it is a shame. And I mean, that brings me nicely to the hair campaign, because realistically, you've seen the video, you've seen the full length
Yeah.
video, you've also seen equity survey, and we're not trying to throw shade or blame at any one particular person. What we really want to do is highlight this knowledge gap. So as a hairstylist, as a professional hairstylist, I can only speak as an actress, but for you on the other side of the table, so to speak, where do you, I mean, what does this knowledge gap really feel like for you, and how it allows you to do your job to the best of your ability, and what sort of support do you feel that you need to make this, to help with this knowledge gap within the industry?
Well, firstly, I guess it starts from the training. If you go back to college or anything like that, whether it's from when you got your MVQ in hairdressing, Afro hair is not catered for. It's been a while since I did mine, but I don't think much has changed since.
You look
Afro
incredible, by the way. You look incredible. Cynthia Riva vibe all over you. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Afro hair wasn't catered for. In fact, Afro hair was an optional extra. You could complete a hair course for 2 years and not have done Afro hair. And many girls of all ethnicities, so you know, that did that course chose not to do it because they didn't want to do a course that they were scared they would fail, or do that option within their course. So to start off with, you leave and enter into the workforce world without the initial skills or training to begin with. And unfortunately, from my experience, this industry is very much not what you know, but who you know. So you kind of can get very far in with, you know, in and around all these areas with little knowledge on certain areas. And unfortunately, one of those areas is Afro hair. So, but there would definitely need to be more training throughout. And just, I guess, it kind of starts with the heads of all these departments understanding that representation is needed in all areas for there to be true, I guess, a true authentic understanding on across the board. Yeah. So it, you know, it's not, I do know of stylists from, you know, other cultures as well that can definitely do Afro hair. So it's not just a black or a white thing or anything like that. That's not what I mean. It's definitely just hair in general. If you call yourself a hairstylist, in my opinion, you should be able to do hair. And that's across the board. And that doesn't stop once the texture gets more kinkier and more curlier. And, you know, so definitely training would need to be done. But before we even get to the training, I think there needs to be acknowledgement that hair type matters. It's important, and it's not just easy to just do or to dismiss, you know. So yeah, training from within that, you know, whether it be equity to understand that they need some, you know, to a more understanding all the way from the beginning stages of a stylist as well. And if I put the emphasis back on stylists, they should want to know as much as they can for themselves. I think for many stylists, I am a stylist that's definitely chosen a particular area I'd like to focus on. There's nothing wrong with that, but I still think you should be able to work with, even if it's not your first, but what you call your first skill or what you think you're best at, but have an understanding or a knowledge across the board of most things.
You know, you've touched on something already that despite doing the diploma at the London College of Fashion, despite having this on-hand training, like on-the-job experience in TV and film, you still had struggled to get these skills that you needed. So, I mean, what was the real reason for that struggle of navigating the industry whilst trying to get this experience that you needed to be able to specialize in Afro hair?
I can't even say it was a struggle. It doesn't exist. It's something that doesn't exist. I can do what I can do because I've chosen to try to understand it. It doesn't exist out there to fully grasp and understand. And then I don't know of a course that specializes entirely in natural hair and understanding you know, everything about it. So I know what I can do. And actually, I still amaze myself sometimes. Like, I remember when, you know, in the early days when, like I said, that transition happened without me making that choice. It happened for me. My clients decided to become natural, and then through that word of mouth, I you know, one day I had a lady, and I actually don't like to be put in a box. I'm not someone who likes to be put in a box. So this lady's like, "You're an amazing natural hairstylist," and I'm like, I'm not a natural hairstylist. I'd call myself a healthy hairstylist, whatever hair type you've got, as long as it's healthy, and you know, that's all I care about. And then a girl that I worked alongside with at the time was like, Natalie, I disagree with you. But 95% of your clients are natural. And I didn't even know when that had happened to me. So I remember in the early days needing a lot more time to work with. And, you know, if I had someone who'd come in and let's say they've been natural for 5 years but never seen a stylist once in that time, you know, it would take me a bit longer. Whereas now there isn't a hair type or texture or anything that phases me or scares me, you know, and I can work through it quickly because you only get better at doing something by doing it, you know, in this. So the only way they're going to get better is by working with natural hair. So if you every time tell the client, well, they've got to work it out, or, you know, I can't do this, how do you improve? So yeah, I don't, unless they're willing to get hands-on, stuck in, and understand our hair and really recognize that it's important and that understanding is important for them to have, there's not going to be much change, unfortunately.
Fantastic. Well, and you know, we're both natural haired individuals, and everyone has their own personal journey. I can't say that I've ever met two natural haired individuals who've gone on the same journey, had the same experiences, or had the same difficulties. It's definitely, as you put it, a journey. Absolutely, I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
But despite, you know, the fact that we use this language of journey and that, you know, there's a process to learning it, in your opinion, as a professional who has learned all different hair textures, would you say that learning how to style and manipulate afro hair textures is in any way particularly more difficult than, say, other hair textures?
Yes. It's the truthful answer to that, yes. I have always been able to manage natural hair. Prior to being natural myself, I relaxed my hair from the age of 14 all the way till I was 27. So when I actually went natural again. So even when I went natural for myself, you know, again at 27 years old, it was so daunting. I've been looking at childhood photos to remember what my hair was like, and because it was relaxed for so many years. And if I'm honest, if I'm truthfully honest with you, I truly believe the deepness of my knowledge comes from the fact that I chose to go natural myself. And understanding even just the changes of my hair. I shaved my hair off, so it was a level 1, and I eventually grew my hair to like bra strap level. So I was able to deal with my own hair from short to super long and see the changes that it needed, down to the fact that my hair just needed different products at different times of the year, whether it, you know, in summer to winter, it needed different conditioners. And I do believe that I was able to then translate that knowledge personally that I learned for myself onto all these different hair types. So I do feel like I had a bit of a boost as to understanding it because I have it for myself, so I can relate. But that doesn't mean to say that it can't be taught to somebody who doesn't have natural hair themselves or isn't natural basically. So yeah, it definitely can be taught, but I just feel that I grasped it that bit better because I had natural hair myself and could relate to the journey and the process and everything else.
So when you talk to other hairstylists, whether they be on the course that you were on or in more specifically in the professional field, what do you think the general sense is amongst hairstylists when it comes to afro hair, natural hair, and styling that? What is the impression you get amongst other hairstylists?
I think you kind of get 2 types or 3 types. There's someone like me who I just enjoy working with hair. So I don't particularly love working with wigs or weaves. That's just down to personal preference and job satisfaction. I like to see the results of transforming the hair that grows out of your scalp. I know a lot of stylists, I'd say more the older generation, maybe slightly older than myself, and art. There's a few that still are amazing with natural hair, in my opinion, but I feel that their skills are still more focused on a more avant-garde aspect of the natural hairstyling. So it would still be to do an amazing photo shoot or campaign or anything like that. But I don't know many, in my personal opinion, that I feel that was amazing with just the day-to-day care of it. And I've spoken to a good few who kind of just want it to go back to what it was like before. They're hoping that this natural phase period just blows over. They just see it as a phase because they've been in the industry for so long. And if I'm honest, I feel there's a slight ignorance to actually how important it is. And if I haven't had any personal experience because I don't go to a stylist. I do my hair myself and have done for a very long time. So a lot of the stories I hear are from clients who come into the chair, have gone to some of these, top stylists, and it's that shock of them not knowing what to do with their strands and not bothering, not being affected by the fact that they didn't know how to do it. And in a lot of cases from the client's stories, the onus has been placed on the client. So the client has been made to feel bad that you've got a texture or a hair tie that's difficult to do. Does that make sense? As opposed to the stylist taking responsibility for the fact that they can't do it. And I don't think there's any shame in not being able to do something. That's me as a person. I feel no way when someone comes to my chair to say, you know what, I've done this before, but you're happy to work with me. And I don't feel none of us can know everything. Do you understand what I mean? But also if I don't know something, I will pay. I'm not gonna play about and hope for the best with your hair. And I think a lot of women I've dealt with have fallen prey to a stylist that's just played about and hope for the best, and it's not gone well. And it's very hard to cover or hide it when it's natural. When you make a mistake, you can't really do a comb over, or so it's left a lot of women's self-esteem being affected, and as a result they've maybe taken a stance to say, I'm not stepping into a salon, I'm not, I know a lot of naturals that truly believe in the DIY. I'll do it myself, do it myself, because they don't trust people, they don't trust the industry. And I think that's what's a shame about it, that because so many stylists have chosen not to further their skills and understand this, it's brought a lack of faith from the consumer in the industry as well. You can step on set and not have faith that this person will know how to do your hair. I have clients come into the salon and they're nervous. They've seen the work and they've seen the catalogue, but they're still so nervous that you can do mine because of the experiences that they've had. So I don't know. I'd say that a lot of stylists need to change their mindset and recognise that I don't think it's going anywhere. It's not a phase. So many women have found themselves through becoming natural. So it's deeper than just hair. It's actually a movement. They've found that identity just through this so-called phase. So I don't believe it's going anywhere. So they will need to adapt and go with the times. And I would love that. I'd like to believe that there's a new wave of young people that are coming up that are more interested in it. And I have seen that there are really just two types when it comes to young people. You've got natural, and then you've got the young girls that wear the lace fronts. There's not many in between anymore. Not many girls care to relax anymore. It's just they either wear it natural or wear wigs or do a bit of both. But you can call yourself a stylist if all you can do is just a wig. You can call yourself a stylist. So just the actual standard and ethos of hairdressing, I feel has diminished, because it's not enough just to be able to style a wig to be classed as a hairstylist. You do need to understand hair. You can get away with not knowing that now and still get very, very far. And because of that, and you'll still get the job, you'll still get hired for the job, even if you don't know. And that's why people aren't really fussed to make a difference or change, unfortunately. We kind of still get by. And a lot of naturals, I think, because they've learned to do it themselves, are capable of doing a lot on themselves in those situations and those scenarios, which isn't fair. But